Round two.
Wow. Dang.
Dude, you had to break the ice somehow. I'm just sitting here looking at you.
Okay. All right. Another one.
Here we go. Round two, folks.
Round two.
And you know what? I've come very prepared.
Did you?
Oh.
You weren't prepared last time?
No, you don't know how prepared I am today.
Okay.
Because last time you came after me right in the heart.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing it had to do with you improperly using the thrift stores?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Okay, so you said that I use thrift stores wrong. And you want to know what I've done since the last time we sat in these chairs?
Returned everything to... Oh, what'd you do?
Actually, one of the pieces that we have that I thrifted, I only bought because they said I couldn't return it.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay. I have not one, not two, but 3 full sheets of paper.
It's like a grocery list? What is this?
Filled with items in our home that we use on the daily that I have thrifted.
Oh,
now,
my goodness.
I'm not going to read all of these because, my gosh, that would be boring.
Nobody
but here
wants
you
to
go.
listen to that.
1 for you, 2 for you, 3 for you. And the very last items on this list, this page in particular, the very chairs we're sitting in, fella.
All right.
That's my little present to you.
I'll read it twice.
That's also like an overarching list because it's not detailed.
Yeah.
It's like
wow,
dishes.
So that one really stuck with you, huh?
Books.
Okay.
I have a little bone to pick with you there.
This is healthy. I think this is a form of therapy. Now that you've identified your problem and have put it on paper, you can look at it and I'll put those
Kate.
3
I
on your
thrifting.
Yeah, I'll put those on your mirror. You can't escape.
You mean like the multiple mirrors that are on this list that we look in every day?
Yes.
Including yourself?
Sure. I don't know. Okay. I don't want to. Okay.
There's 3 in our bedroom. There's one in the hallway. There's several in the...
Well, welcome everyone to our second episode. I had a lot of fun the last one, but I feel like we left a lot on the table, a lot undiscussed. So I'd like to kick us off discussing... I would say I'll start with a topic. Is that all right?
I don't care.
That's nice and tame. We came after each other on Ep 1, like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But we're going to start with the topic. And this is one I think we haven't talked about it in a while, at least. I'm pretty sure we're unified on this. And this is what are your thoughts on adults who eat only one thing at a time on their plate?
Oh, I used to be one of those adults.
Really?
Until I met you.
What? Really?
Don't you remember that?
No.
I remember we were at your old boss's house for like a Christmas meal.
Okay.
Early in our marriage.
Yeah.
And you brought it up to me like after the party where, you know, the debrief you have in the car after you leave a place?
Yes.
Like I love a good debrief.
Oh, yeah.
So we were doing the debrief after, only I was the debrief topic. And it was, so, I noticed that you like ate all of your turkey and then you ate all of your mashed potatoes.
I don't remember. I have no recollection of this.
No, I have such clear memory of this conversation.
Okay.
And it was me.
I wonder if someone said something. Or I'm just so neurotic.
You
I probably
said it to
watched.
me. No, I think you realized it.
There might have been eyes on you from the table that I picked up on.
Maybe, but...
Of like people like, is she really eating only one thing at a time?
Do you think people notice? Because I notice now,
but
only because you pointed it out.
I notice, and I deal with this with my 13-year-old when I serve her food.
I wish she's still there. That's all right.
And
technically, though, your quandary was about adults, and she's not an adult.
So I have a lot of grace on kids, and I understand. I think it's adults, and so the scenario is like burger and fries. This is what I've seen the most with adults that do this.
Oh,
is a burger fry situation.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: the greatest thing about food, other than getting things, prepared correctly, tender, you got to have a good sauce, maybe a glaze, properly seasoned. Like there's a lot that goes into
extra sauce.
Yeah,
always.
like a great meal. But part of a great meal is the right temperature, right? That's why they bring out the fajitas, like sizzling and like
the sizzle's fake.
Whatever, but they're hot.
But the sizzle is still fake. Just so you know,
fake sizzle.
Worked in the restaurants.
Yes, fake sizzle. But the the point is the right temperature is key, right?
Yeah.
And it changes things. The thing about cheese, like cold cheese doesn't taste like hot cheese,
Right.
right? So burger and fries come to a table. Let's say grown man, right? Has to make choice A or B.
You've watched a grown man
But
eat one burger or fries over the other?
Hypothetical situation.
All right.
Right? So you have to make a choice. You'll eat your entire burger, which is at the perfect temperature, right? The whole time those fries are just going from hot and crispy to like
a little cooler and stale.
Room temperature to like no good, throw them out.
Yeah.
So they're making a sacrifice versus saying like, and here's another thing, like there's a reason why it's burger and fries, right?
Well, I agree with you.
Steak and potatoes, like they go together.
Like steak frites.
It's a compliment. Yeah. It's a compliment. So if you divide them, you might as well just have like separate meals. You might as well like eat a burger and then a couple hours later be like, I'm going to go to McDonald's and just get some fries.
No, for sure.
It's a meal. It's supposed to be paired together. So there's two things that the individual is missing out on. Number one is the pairing, like, right? You eat the burger, then you go for fries, maybe a little ketchup, right? Or whatever it may be.
You need to do burger bite.
Yeah.
Fry bite.
Yes.
Little sip of your drink.
They complement.
Little sip of your Coke or root beer, Sprite or whatever. Like
little carbonation.
Little bevy.
Clear the palate,
but you
all
gotta
the
do
grease and salt.
a bite, because then you can chit chat, right? A little wipe of the hand, get the salt, all the salt and all the, drizzle, whatever is coming off your burger. Got to do all of it.
Yeah.
You got to circle. It's like a merry-go-round.
And if you get full, you're getting full evenly. You're like, oh man, I can't eat anymore. But I enjoyed every bite of that burger and the fries, and they were the right temperature the whole time. And they paired together the whole way. So,
I'm on board with that.
Yeah. So I think what happens with Melody is I don't know when to serve what, because I want her to enjoy the right temperature.
Right.
And not let the fries go stale.
But I don't know that I've ever had a friend, like an adult friend that I've noticed eat just one food group at a time.
I do. Yeah.
But I have a lot of friends who just eat food off the kids' menu.
Yeah.
And like they're just
topic.
like a chicken finger adult.
And fries.
Chicken finger adult.
Yeah, I love chicken fingers. There's a time and place, right? There's a time and place for chicken fingers. They're delicious.
Chicken, what's that one from Texas Roadhouse? Those are called
chicken critters.
Thank you. Chicken critters.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
That's a chicken finger
and I did
expert.
See that they like batter and do all of that day of in-house. And that's why they're not open until 4 o'clock or dinner, because they're in the back like fixing the chicken critters.
Yeah.
But no, I've never seen an adult friend eat only one food group at a time.
Yeah. I watched somebody, this is a long time ago. This is 10, 12 years ago. I know the person, but I'm not going to put them on blast. Peas were involved.
Okay.
Peas. They eat peas first. Who goes peas first?
That's also a very childish thing to do, because then when you're a kid and you're told like,
eat your veggies first.
Eat your veggies first. Get the worst part out of it.
39 years old. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Peas first.
Well, what if they're his favorite?
Yeah. So I'm trying to raise my children right by saying like, hey,
your children?
This pairing is our children. This pairing is wonderful together. Let's start now, because it becomes very insulting if you would go to an adult and be like, how would you even approach the conversation? Like,
well, you've already done that. So
well, I'm doing it now, but
you did it with me.
Well, we love each other. You have pointed out so many things.
You helped me a lot.
And we help each other.
You helped
That's
me a
why
lot.
people get married.
I know.
We help each other. And here's the thing. If you're just like, listen, this is the only way I know how to enjoy food, and I've done this since my childhood, and you're just going to have to live with it, I would love you through it. I would think about it often, but I would love you through it. But hey, if you've learned the way, is it not better to have a good pairing?
Oh, it is better, because now, for instance, you frequently will fix like homemade blue cheese dressing and steak. And so sometimes we'll just have like a steak and the salad with blue cheese dressing, and it's delicious. And now I'll pick if I want to have like steak as my last bite or salad as my last bite. But you guarantee that I'm going to have a last bite of one and then the last bite of the other, because I've eaten it evenly.
Yes. Even proportions. And how do you settle? Like, what if you eat a salad? Like, we might as well eat all the carrots, then eat all the croutons, then eat all the dressing, then eat all the greens. Yeah. Like, where do you stop? It could get out of control.
It
So anyway,
would.
I was curious on your
But
thoughts
also,
on
like,
that.
you take that a little bit far sometimes because you'll finish a meal if we're out to eat, and then maybe I'll get full before you, and I'll say, hey, do you want the rest of my whatever? But it doesn't fit with the bite ratios within. And so you're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Or I have the perfect ratio at the end. That doesn't happen very often, but someone is like, hey, can I have a bite? If it's, and it happens.
It
The kids have
happens.
gotten me, and you just got to be like, yeah, here you go. And then you're left with like a little pile of mashed potatoes, all lonesome.
You mean you wouldn't just make that your last bite?
No, not with the
Wait,
improper
Do
ratio.
you do like, wait, do you not do 2 bites in a row of the same food?
No.
Not even if it balances the ratio? It's like,
Oh, no, you just go a little less on the next bite. So if I have a big steak and a little bit of potato, it's not like I'm thinking the whole way through.
I didn't know that
Of
about
just,
you.
yeah, of you're dividing equally. So my experience from the beginning to the end is it's the same.
I'm
You don't do
so
that?
speechless.
All right, we should quit talking about it then. All right. I tried to put other people on blast.
No,
I
but
just put
like-
myself on. Yeah.
But I think you're right, though. It is a little awkward, especially if you're the cook of the meal. Like, if you're fixing somebody the
Yes.
meal,
Yeah.
you want to know that they've enjoyed it as
Mhm.
it's meant to be enjoyed. And that really goes to like all of those chefs we see on TV and in movies when they're like,
yes.
no substitutions.
Yes.
No, you can't do this. Like, stop taking pictures of the food. It's meant to be eaten right now.
Well, that high-end restaurant we went to like a month or two ago, right? They
Yes.
break down the pairing. Like this is a
Yes.
whatever with this reduction and like all these things. Can you
Right.
imagine if just like, do you have any tweezers? And a person just picked everything off and just one thing at a time because it's so tiny. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of mint, and then they got to clear like a drink of water, and they just went one thing at a time. They wouldn't do that. But those,
Ooh, can I have everything
Yeah.
except make it
Yeah.
totally gluten-free and dairy-free and vegan and all of that?
yeah. So
Air.
for anyone listening that does this, it's okay.
I mean,
But just try. Just
we listen and we absolutely judge.
Try
is what the
it,
message
right?
is here.
just try it. Like
Yeah.
think about buttery salted popcorn. I guarantee everybody like who eats that way could say, yeah,
Mhm.
popcorn's good. Well, you wouldn't eat just salt. You wouldn't eat just butter. You wouldn't eat just popcorn kernel. That can continue on through all the food groups.
I did go through a butter eating phase when I was little.
What?
Didn't you?
Do you remember our buddy that used to eat
the
lard
lard?
out of a spoon? And he hid it from his wife.
Okay, yeah.
He went to the
His
doctor.
bucket of lard.
No, he went to
hidden
the
in his
doctor
house.
and his cholesterol was so high. The doctor
I forgot.
genuinely was like, I cannot believe you're still alive. And he was young. Like he was like
Yeah.
mid-30s. I mean, like should not have
Honestly,
been
like, the-
where he was at. And his what and
Didn't he like confess it to you one day?
yeah,
As though he was like-
ashamed. Yeah.
Really getting something off his chest.
Yeah, he's like, I need to talk about my situation, you know. And he was like a fairly kind of fit guy. Like you just
You
wouldn't
really
think,
would not have known.
No, you wouldn't have known. And he said
Yeah.
his go-to is he would get 2 slices of Costco pizza, the deluxe
Yep.
supreme ones,
And
combo,
chicken
yeah.
nuggets.
And he would then not done there, 2 slices, then drive to McDonald's
Yeah.
and get
Well,
a
it was
bunch
in the
of like
parking lot.
a 10-piece or whatever. And then he would get ranch and he would put a slice of Costco pizza,
Yeah.
put the nuggets on one slice, drizzle the ranch,
Mhm.
throw the other slice on top, and make a little sandwich, and he would eat that.
Yeah.
So his wife shut that down. She's like, dude, you're going to die. You got to take. So he's like,
And
okay.
she's for sure totally on board. Like, she's right.
Yeah. Oh, of course
did
she's
the
right.
right thing.
Doctor's right. So his weakness, he hid. But listen, I get if you hide Oreos or
like-
something like that, ice cream. He had a small bucket, like a container of
I know.
lard, and he hid it behind the dog food.
But he didn't eat it straight. He
No.
would cook with it.
No, he would. Well, I think usually,
he
but
cooked
because it
with
was a
it.
quick. No, he would take a bite of lard. He was so desperate.
Well, you know
This
what?
is what he told me, and his wife found the bucket of lard behind the dog food, and it was like a whole thing. And he confessed it to me, and it wasn't even funny when he was telling me. Like it wasn't like he was like,
Right.
"You want to hear something funny?" He's like, "Man, I need to talk to you about something." I was like, "Bro, you gotta cut
I
out the
hid-
tub of lard, man."
Hid a bucket of
But
lard.
he's like
hid it in my
super,
laundry room.
super jacked now, super healthy.
No, he's honestly one
We
of
all
the fittest
learn.
guys.
Yeah, man, we live
And he's still alive.
live and learn. May he live to be 120.
I mean, no.
And avoid.
I think we're gonna be okay if we get
Yeah.
like 95.
Yeah, and avoid.
No, but he's
avoid
such a
Costco.
good dude, and I remember that, and I think about him all the time because like
Yep.
beef tallow is like such a thing these days. Like all of the people who are into
Yeah.
no more seed oils, trying to be healthy,
That
blah,
wasn't,
blah, blah, blah,
I don't
blah.
think people talked about
They're
that
like,
though.
use beef tallow for
Yeah.
like face moisturizer and chapstick and cook your food in it and blah, blah, blah. It's like really good for you. I think about him every time I hear about beef tallow.
Yeah.
And when I see the scoops of the white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wasn't it in like under the laundry room like
Yeah. He hid it as
counter?
well as he could behind the dog food. So
I didn't grow up with a bucket of lard, but I did go through that butter eating phase, and we did have a bucket of fudge.
Cold butter or
Like
a little
room
butter
temperature.
container?
I think I liked the
that's better.
saltiness. And it wasn't like I'd take a whole stick and just, chomp,
Yeah.
but it was like, you slide a little bit off on a knife.
No, I don't know.
I did that for a while when I was little, and I didn't tell you guys.
You snuck how much? Straight butter?
No, I think it's like a
Yes.
thing kids go through, that they go through a
Okay.
weird butter eating phase.
I had no butter eating phase.
Oh,
But-
well, you're also particular about food. So,
Well, yeah, a little bit.
no, but we didn't have a bucket of lard. We had a bucket of fudge.
Okay.
Literally like a bucket of fudge. And as a kid, thinking back, I'm picturing it as like a 5-gallon bucket.
Mhm.
It was probably smaller than that. But the dessert would be like, oh my gosh, can we have a spoonful of fudge? And so we would just get like a spoon and you just sit there and lick on the fudge. And it was probably not healthy
No.
or
So many preservatives and like how old was that bucket?
it's probably not in season, whatever it was.
Yeah. Seasonal fudge. Seasonal bucket o' fudge from the local farmer's market.
Dude, like, but where do you even get a bucket like that?
I don't know. Amazon. But back then, I
But
don't know.
back then,
I don't know.
1994,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Bucket o' fudge.
Okay. So do you have something that you'd like to share other than
You grew up
eating
eating weird stuff
butter
too.
and fudge? No, not too bad.
Yeah, you did. You grew up eating chili soup.
Yeah, that's a thing. Chili soup.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this state, it's like a thing to have peanut butter sandwiches with chili.
Yeah.
That's weird.
See, my dad made me like poverty meals when it was just me and him,
Yeah.
but didn't have to, but that's what he liked. So
Well,
it
yeah.
was like really cheap, like tamales out of a can. He would do chili and spaghetti, just noodles
But
and
is
throw
chili
like
and spaghetti different than chili soup?
yeah, that's different.
Okay.
And then chili soup, you put like a little bit of like ground beef, like 4 beans, and then it was just so much tomato juice. It was wild. It's
One
so, yeah.
2 bean.
Yeah. So you think chili, you think hearty. Chili soup is what I don't know if there's a Midwest thing.
Is it just like watered down?
It's just cans of tomato juice. So it's like soupy. Like you need a straw more than a spoon. So
It's really good. They feed it to me and Mina.
they're still making some chili soup?
Yes.
All right. I'd love to try it for
Dang.
nostalgia's sake. Oh, and last thing about poverty food that I loved. White Wonder Bread
Mhm.
and Spam. Ate that a lot. White Wonder Bread, toasted butter, cinnamon, sugar. I would eat that right now.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
So White
That's
Wonder
just
Bread
good
was
food.
involved in a lot of meals, and
We weren't allowed to eat Wonder Bread.
I loved it all. It was good.
Weren't allowed to eat it.
Just fudge
Yeah.
and butter. Okay. All right.
Fudge and butter.
Yeah.
Fudge and butter.
Do you have a topic or a grievance you'd like to share?
Well, I did have one, but I just don't know if we're ready for it.
Okay.
Okay. So this summer we had this amazing podcast or amazing playlist for hanging out outside,
Yeah.
the playlist.
Yes.
And I don't know if this song was on the playlist, but I heard it frequently. And every time I'd be like, turn that song off. It's awful. And you're like, no, it's a great song. And it's, hey, little girl, is your daddy home?
That's the boss. That's Bruce Springsteen.
It's the most horrible song I've
No.
ever heard.
You're reading too much into it. The lyrics.
I'm sorry?
It's a 19.
I'm sorry. Should I
listen,
read the lyrics
the
here in
70s
2025?
The 70s and 80s, I think it was like different slang of just like,
Dude,
no
way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I've done a deeper dive into that. I was like, is the boss?
He's all like, does your
creepy?
daddy take care of you the
No,
way
no, no.
I do?
The daddy's a reference to like how somebody would say like, talk to, I can't think of another. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
Like he talks about like, is your daddy home? Does he take care of you the way I do? Does he do the things like What?
No, he's talking about her like boyfriend or something. That's what it was. I think the boss, Bruce Springsteen, has weighed in on that of like what it was.
Well, of course, he's going to defend himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I just want like...
It's a great song.
No, the boss is just not one of my favorites.
I think you need to get your mind out of the gutter because he's the man.
No, I think he needs to fix his lyrics.
Okay.
Like...
Yeah.
More like, hey, is your daddy home? Am I allowed to come over and take you out for the evening if I'm real respectful?
All right. Well, if that's still... we'll remove that. But don't speak ill of the boss because he's the man. Okay, so I have a grievance.
Okay.
That I want to bring up.
All right.
If you are born and raised from America, in America, which I know you are because you ate just like buckets of fudge and butter, right?
Yeah.
If you are American, you should not be allowed to hold your utensils like you're British royalty.
Rude.
It's not rude.
Rude.
I've never seen anybody else do it. And
rude.
Explain to everyone how you use a knife and fork when we go places.
In England, the fork is in the left hand, the knife is in the right hand.
Yeah.
Tines down, okay? And really the knife is just like helping put things on the fork. And I don't do that. I use my fork in my right hand, tines down. And so like you put your tines down and then you just
upside
place
down.
it in. Yeah.
Like a fork, a fork's kind of slanted a little bit, like a scooping. You go the other way. Yeah, right
Americans
hand.
scoop with the fork as though it's a spoon. You might as well, genuinely, Americans might as well eat with a knife and a spoon at that point.
Spork. We've created that,
correct.
I think.
So the way the British do it is tines down and you can stab whatever like meat dish you have. And then you can use your fork to like scoop on mashed potatoes and peas or whatever. And then you take the bite.
Yeah. But you never swap hands.
And
no,
I never swap
always
hands.
Upside down.
Right. Tines down. And it also like, it makes it easier. Really why I started it is because when we had like big family gatherings and we're like near each other at the table, when you're having to scoop, your elbow's like way out here.
Yeah.
Tines down, my elbows can be tucked in. I'm not in everybody's space.
Okay.
Tines down. Makes a nice clean bite. You also have like, there's no falling food when you're scooping and you're like, oh, maybe it'll make it in there if I don't get my elbow bumped.
Okay.
I don't know.
When did you adopt this is what because you haven't always done that.
Probably 5 years ago because we started living in this area and like being around family, having big dinners like that.
That's what it was. It wasn't from watching British shows and you just watched people.
They probably gave me the idea, but you know the best compliment I've ever gotten? Okay, we were at a steakhouse for maybe our anniversary and it was very like, it was very empty in there, but there was this old man who came over to us. Do you remember this? Okay.
I might.
So
tell me more.
An old man came over to us and he, without even saying a word to me, he just goes, "Excuse me, ma'am. What part of England are you from?"
I remember that. And it made your day and my eyes rolled all the way back inside of my head.
Inside, I'm like, this is the moment. This is real. It's really happening. And the sweet man was like, my mom was from England and she ate with her knife and fork.
She was tines down as well. Yeah. So we went to...
No, but it made my day.
So I tried this one time. And I don't know if you were watching or paying attention, but I did it intentionally.
You've mocked me a lot with it.
We went to gala fundraiser.
Yes.
Right? And during that meal, I knew you were going to be doing your thing, right? Yeah. I was like, I'm going to watch, I'm going to do what you do. And the entire meal,
I had no idea.
I was full tines down. See, and I do it wrong too. Like, I'm not picking on you. Okay. I am like a barbarian. My right hand is the knife, steak knife, right hand. Left hand fork.
And then you switch your...
Not tines down. No,
correct.
I cut, saw.
Oh.
Put the knife down, all nasty.
And switch?
American falls. Yep.
That's so much work.
Then I grab the fork.
No.
I stab. I scoop the rest of the food. Even proportions, even temperature. Then I grab it again and I go back. I don't know. I don't think that you're supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to switch hands, but Americans do that.
Opposite ends of the spectrum on that.
You and me?
Of you so proper, tines down, and me just like an animal in there. But the whole gala, I did it the whole time. First off, it's hard. Like it took a while to
It does. It takes
to
a little
cut,
bit of practice.
it's the left. I'm bad with my left
Right.
hand. To cut with the left hand and then tines the opposite way, it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Because you get your food, or maybe you have like a couple little veggies hanging on and you're trying to do it. But I did it the whole time and you didn't notice.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that table was really impressed. They're like, what time?
Wow.
What part of England were you raised in?
What part of England were they didn't eat fudge in a bucket?
So, but you would never adopt their accent. Why would you adopt their like cutlery like dining habits?
I feel like it's efficient. I don't have to switch hands.
I'll give you that. Absolutely.
I feel like as well, it protects you from just getting like way too big of a mouthful of food. And then you can't talk with your food.
It does look very petite and proper.
You get the right amount of bite. And you can, if you're interrupted while you're mid-bite, I do this to you all the time. Like somebody asks you a question mid-bite, you can easily be like, oh yeah, and answer the question and you don't have a big old mouthful of food.
I just make people wait. It's like...
He does make me wait.
You gotta wait.
Okay, but...
You don't understand the perfect proportion and temperature of the perfect bite I just put in my mouth? Yeah.
But I have the perfect, sensation for when you have got that perfect bite in your mouth, and I'll call you on the phone.
Yes.
I'll walk into your office if you're having a bite.
This is not a topic or a grievance.
I will do that.
This is not
I
a topic.
call you on the phone the minute you've ordered your food and you're like, unwrapped it, got all the things set up. You got your food sauce.
How often do I say,
and then
hey, what are you
immediately
doing?
I'm like,
hey,
what are you doing?
I just took my first bite of food. How do you do that?
No, I think I have never told you this, but like I implanted one of your eyes with a camera. So
okay.
When you got that first bite in, I'm just like, time.
So, no, I don't want to forget. What was I going to say? What were we just talking about?
Time's down.
Okay.
And I call you.
No, but listen, the food in the mouth situation, this is the worst part. Like part of my job, I have so many meetings with people.
Right.
And I try to avoid lunch meetings because that's not a great time.
Eat and talk.
Eating is for eating, right? And it's kind of animalistic, like the feeding try. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's not, it's something you do with friends, you do with your spouse, but you're just meeting a stranger.
And you want to talk.
You're watching them just devour like chicken. Like you're like, oh, I don't want to see that, you know? And it's conversational, so you have to time the bite. So I have a little trick. Do you want to hear my trick? This is what I do. Well, first off,
I always give away your secrets.
Oh yeah, people might listen.
I think the best meeting is a coffee meeting because you can take a quick sip.
Yeah, so I'll typically try to do coffee, but if it's food, here's what I do. I hope no one listens and then I go, but it works really great. When you're first seated, dominate the conversation. You have to go in hard, like you blah, yap. You're talking. I mean, you're asking.
Where's the food in
you're
this
asking a
part of your conversation?
So, no, you're just seated. Menus are out, and I'm talking. And it's a little bit two-way, right? As we're ordering. Once you order and you're waiting on the food, dominate the conversation. It's all you, right? Almost to the extent to where they're like feeling like I have a few things to say. When the food arrives, you've been talking. So they don't think like, gosh, why is this guy so quiet this whole lunch meeting?
Right.
You got all of your talking done, all of the questions, whatever. If you have an agenda or something you kind of wanted to meet on, you get all of that. As soon as the food comes and it's like, and the waiter or waitress walks away, then you just say, so what do you think? Or like, tell me about this project you've been working on. And then you go in. Now they're the ones who are like half mouthful and this and like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
That's what it works. But now it's
out there now.
It's out there. You should try it.
I don't really do lunch meetings.
Because you do both. You get to enjoy your meal and you get to communicate anything that you needed to communicate. So, and I don't like talking with my mouth full. So.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst.
Yeah.
The worst, though, is when you like accidentally, like if somebody says something to you and a piece of food falls out of your mouth. I mean, that's probably happened like once or twice in everyone's life, but like you're in the middle of like trying to reply. Maybe it's something urgent.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there comes a crumb. Did they see that? Of course they saw it. Of course they saw it.
I think I did last one. You do one.
What else are they thinking about?
What's that?
I said, what else would they be thinking about except for the food that fell out of your mouth?
Yeah. It's game over. Did you have something? Because there's other things that I am very excited to share.
Are you so excited?
Yeah.
I mean, go for it. If you're so excited.
Okay. So this is just a Okay. Did I do a grievance yet?
I think you did.
I want to submit another one.
Oh, man.
This is an easy.
You're telling me I gave up an opportunity
No.
for a second grievance?
You could have done it.
Oh, man.
So you have been on a kick over the past couple of years
Mm-hmm.
of battery powered everything,
Oh, gosh.
right? So like this Christmas and I think you added to the collection, but last Christmas and this Christmas, you
Mhm.
buy these candles, battery powered only with a remote,
Mm-hmm.
and they look really cool. They flicker, you put them in the
Yeah.
windows, you put them in the Christmas tree, but you always go to bed before me.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll turn them on, put the remote somewhere. I stay up late. Everyone's in bed, take the dogs out, get them locked. I get
Mhm.
everything ready to go. I'm on my way to bed. And here's this I flip all the switches, and here's all these little candles like on
Mhm.
the windows, on the Christmas tree. And I am trying to search with like a flashlight to find this remote. And most of the time, I just give up. So in my frustration, I've been like, well, I'll just let him go. Like she turned them on, I'll just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like to teach you a lesson. But I'm teaching, I end
He's,
up
he's paying for the batteries.
I have to pay for it. Because I counted on the tree. There was 12 lights.
Mm-hmm.
12 lights. This isn't even all the ones on the thing. 12 lights on the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
They lasted exactly, I think, 8 days.
So
And each one contained a AA battery.
yeah.
So I had to go to Costco and buy the other economy size
Right.
pack. So not a huge fan of the battery, but I would love for you to defend yourself of why it's cordless is great, but
Right.
if they last a week.
Yeah. So the lights you're speaking about in
Yeah.
particular are these fantastic little, maybe 4-inch battery powered
Yeah.
candles. And they can stick to a window, or you can change the little attachment and it can clip onto the tree branch, or you can change the little attachment and you can stick it into a wreath. And I love them. And I've had them
They look
probably
they
for
look really
4
nice.
years.
Yeah.
And in our last house, they went on all the windows. This house, I didn't have that ability. So they're on the tree. They have a timer. So like they have a timer.
Okay.
So I set the timer this year and it's like the timer didn't even work.
No. They burned all night.
Yeah, they
Dead.
just go all night. So then they didn't last. So the first round of batteries I did was like all of my batteries that I saved from a baggie that's like if I empty something and the batteries still probably work a little bit, they're like
Little juice.
level
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milk it.
baby juice batteries.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm trying to be cheap and use those batteries. So that was the first round of batteries,
Okay.
was baby juice batteries. The second round of batteries was brand new. Joe went to Sam's Club and bought batteries.
Yeah.
And they just didn't work this year. But when I knew that they were out, and I didn't replace them.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for me.
Good for you.
Good for our family. All right, what do you want to talk about? We got
Okay.
we got a minute
Well,
or
I
two
was
left
just
here.
curious if you were going to like have a dinner party and invite maybe 5 people to the dinner party. And this isn't the whole like dead or alive. I'm just talking about like five people who you in your wildest dreams would probably never meet.
Oh.
Like interesting people. And
Yeah.
you want to have a good conversation, like who do you think that you would invite?
I can invite anybody and they're going to show up.
Yeah, like if you want to invite Hans Zimmer to your house for dinner and you're
Yeah.
going to have him and somebody else and somebody, like who would you invite to your house for dinner?
Okay. Probably that's a tough one.
I know. Do you want
Yeah.
to think about it while I share my thoughts?
No, yeah. I'll give it some thought. I mean, there's a lot of things that are popping into my head,
Yeah.
like a bunch of famous musicians that I love, but they could get really sappy and emotional, you know?
See, okay, I'm really glad you brought that
A bunch
up.
of like celebrities who are like movie stars.
Yes.
They could be really like into themselves and
Mhm.
just say a lot of just crazy stuff that I'm just like, all right, is this meal almost over?
Yes.
There's professional athletes, which are going to be,
They're not real conversationalists.
yeah, but they could be fun.
They
could
can be
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some, yeah.
Like professional athletes are not real conversationalists from most of them, from what we've seen,
Yeah.
or actors.
I would say here's the two choices.
They can't act.
Either some theologians or apologists,
Mhm.
right? I just think those are really fascinating people who are just like cream of the crop, top of the top.
Okay.
Just to listen to them talk and debate the
Okay.
Bible and theology and history. I think that'd be really fascinating.
Yeah.
Or if I could bring anybody, I would get as many world leaders together I'd be like, hey, we're going to play nice. Okay. And I would set them down and I'd get all the world leaders of everybody. I mean, it'd be Trump, Putin, Kim Jong-un, the world leaders from around the world. And I'd set them down at a big table. And
would you see who eats one meal at a time?
I'd see who eats one meal at a time. And then whoever does that, we would all agree that we have to overthrow. We have to invade their country.
That's how you decide who gets to be in charge.
Yeah, who gets to rule the world. Yes. That's all I have. You put me on the spot, that's what you get. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to Reddit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me with one of these. I want to know what other people are talking about before we wrap up.
Can I tell you who I would have to dinner?
Sure.
I do have a list.
I know you. Yeah, you've even thought about this. Oh my goodness.
Because everyone's gonna know who they are.
It's gonna be Princess Kate, right? Is she on
the list? She would actually be really good. No, she's not on the list. Okay. I would have the singer Aurora.
Okay.
Because I really like her music and I think she's a fascinating person.
Yeah.
And I just like to, see what she's all about. Emma Thompson. You know who she is?
I do.
She directed Pride and Prejudice. No, Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, okay.
Back to England. Love it. Miranda Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I am Miranda Hart inside.
Yeah.
There's this amazing British TV host called Alison Hammond. And I could watch compilations of her messing up her interviews all day long. It's amazing. And then last but not least, there's an American journalist named Jessica Krause. I would have her.
Okay. Sounds like a great party.
I know.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds like he would not want to come.
Yeah. You could teach them how to hold their utensils
most of them are from England, so they probably would already know.
They would already know.
I would tell Jessica, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready for a Reddit?
Yeah. Let's close with that.
Title is this normal from boy moms? Not for boy moms. Is this normal from boy moms?
Okay.
Triple question mark. So ever since me and my husband moved out of my mother-in-law's house, that's pretty weighted right there. They lived in their mother-in-law's house. We've been there. She has been calling my husband every morning to make sure he's awake. Is this normal behavior from a boy mom? Triple question mark. I'm so confused because he's a grown man and she's still doing this.
Okay.
So she's asking for input.
So his mother.
His mom.
Calls. How old is he though?
I mean, he's legally married. He's got to be.
That he could be 18 years old though. Yeah.
Technically.
Have you met an 18-year-old man?
Right,
he probably needs his mommy to call and make sure that he's up.
They maybe were living with the family to save money to get their own place. They've finally done that. And the mom calls him every morning.
Maybe he just got a new job and she's so nervous that he's going to oversleep and he's going to get fired. Maybe he has a sleeping
are you awake
disorder.
Today?
Maybe she...
I feel if he had a sleeping disorder, she would have said. That's key context.
Yeah. It sounds like he struggles with boundaries.
I agree.
I love my mama to death, but if she called me every single morning asking oh, Joe, did you get up for work? Actually, that'd be pretty funny. If she did that.
That would be really fun. Your mom has only called us once in the early morning. Do you remember the tsunami warning?
Yeah. Yes.
We were living in California in Monterey and there was a tsunami warning because of a earthquake in Japan, and your mom woke up on Eastern Standard Time, saw the news before we did, woke us up out of a dead sleep and was like, there's a tsunami. You guys got to get out of your house.
I did when I lived there. I used to have nightmares. When I lived alone in Pacific Grove, I used to have nightmares that I was... a tsunami
would come and get you?
That's pretty
so awful.
Scary. Yeah.
Well, then I wake up, he tells me, and I was like, oh, let's go down and watch the waves. Because by the time it gets to us, it wasn't going to be anything. No. Just big waves.
Yeah.
But bless her heart, she just loves us so much and was looking out for us.
I think that's what this mom is doing to this young man.
No,
and I want to talk to the young man. Because I've met some dudes that's dude, you need someone checking up on you every day.
No, then if she's going to have anybody's back, she needs to have his wife's back. Because if he doesn't wake up on time, that's kind of also her fault.
Yeah.
That's the people who raised him.
Yeah.
Didn't teach him to wake
She's
up
got to
on time.
hash that out with her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he's a grown man and he can't set an alarm clock.
That's right. He probably eats his food one item at a time on his plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mel, thanks for doing what you do. You're a cool kid.
You're welcome, I guess.
No, you're the best. All right. Well, episode 2. That's pretty fun. So, yeah.
See you next time.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.